Hi there. Good afternoon. Welcome to Ridge Haven Life. My name is Ian, and in this video, I'll be transplanting wood chips to use as a mulch on the mounds that are surrounding each of the 11 fruit trees that I recently planted here in the orchard. So the setup for each of the 11 trees in the orchard is essentially the same. What I did was I planted each of the trees in an existing pot, so I didn't have to dig a hole, just use what was already here on the property. And the pots were this style of smart pots. They hold about 100 gallons of soil. And this area was lined with just about 55 to 60 of these pots. So using those, a small number of those to plant the trees, I'll clear out the rest of these to really open up the space. But for each of the 11 trees, once the tree was planted, lined the top of the soil with a drip line, covered that in a nice thick layer of wood chips after I added some compost, and then added a cage to go around each of the trees to protect from the deer. Then used soil from adjacent pots to create a nice mound around each of the trees. This is both for aesthetics and for practical reasons, as the additional soil will help with water retention as well as amending the soil just for this whole space for the soil to improve, so that when the tree roots do eventually make it through the smart pot and go into the ground, they'll have a nice area to thrive and to grow. So next is to cover this bare soil in some wood chips. So here's the chip pile that we'll be using for this project. Had these chips dropped about 2-3 weeks ago, and these are arborist wood chips, so they've got the leaves mixed in, which is great. That's exactly what you want for gardening as a mulch. You can see the green for the leaves that haven't turned brown yet, but you can also see some pine straw, some pine needles from the Douglas fir. So got some tan oak, other trees in there. And so the idea will be to load the chips into the totes and then load the totes into the truck, take the truck to the orchard and unload the chips at the orchard. All right, got the mounds around 5 of the trees done. Got the cherry, the pear, 2 apricot trees, peach. Got 1 more peach and 5 apple trees to go for covering the mounds with wood chips. But yeah, happy with how the orchard's coming along, piece by piece. Once getting the other mounds covered in wood chips, and want to take out these excess pots. And yeah, step by step, create a space up here, both for the practical enjoyment of having 11 fruit trees, and then the aesthetic of just having an orchard in this wonderful spot of Mendocino County. All right, so that's about going to wrap it up for this video on putting the wood chips on the mounds. You can see the mounds to do are behind me, but I'm enjoying seeing how the orchard is coming together little by little. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to the channel to see more of this type of content in the future, and leave some feedback down below on things you'd like to see in future videos. All right, thanks again so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Take it easy and take care.